No, I'm just
Okay,
excited to be here.
me too. Yeah, let's get in here. Again, it's great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out for the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So let's begin our journey with this. 6 years ago, this pandemic was changing the world. It was a big fork in the road for all of us. How did you get through that era, and how has it changed the way that you do things today?
It's so interesting. Everyone has kind of their like, where were you story.
Mhm.
I spent the last 15 years in pro sports. So when the commissioner of the NBA came out and made his announcement, that was kind of like the domino effect of our industry. And it was rough. Like you basically don't, being like so inundated with all these new things that you just don't know how to handle and have never handled before. And obviously everyone was going through the same thing. So I think that the initial, the shock and all that, but I do believe that there was just so much good that came out of it.
Yeah,
I mean, you have pictures of like different cities where like the smog had cleared and like, animals were coming out. And so I think that I'm always a silver lining kind of person. So I think that it forced everyone to really think about stuff,
yeah,
to think about their relationships with their families, because we were all spending more time inside, and who was important to you, who was, wanted you in their pod. And it was, I think a lot of positive things came out of it. For me, our business, obviously it was very tough. Coming, everyone was at home. You didn't
yeah,
have live sports.
yeah,
So, but no, I think that everything's kind of come out on top through all of that. And
yeah,
I do think that it's for the better.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, it is, and I'm curious. So I want to kind of peel back the layers of your job in sports. So to
Yeah.
begin with, I'm going to put you in front of 12-year-olds at career day. One of the kids in the back of the room wants to know what you do for a living. How do you synthesize your work to make sense to their brains?
Sure. Well, now I've left the sports industry now and I'm running the nonprofit full time. So to talk to a 12-year-old and tell them what I do, I would say that my organization goes to an elementary school and runs a sports after school program for the girls there in third through fifth grade.
Okay.
And each session is 2 hours, and there's 80 minutes of it that we do sports stuff. And then there's 30 minutes where we work on our empowerment journals.
So what did you want to be when you were 12 years old? What was your dream gig?
Oh gosh, famous singer for sure. I think that's like I wanted to be a rock star most of my life, but I think that once you start to understand, well, I'm not a great singer, so that kind of was out. But I think I just always wanted to make a difference. I wanted to do something big. I knew that much. I knew I wanted to do something big. I knew I wanted to be out there in the world, and I have a very loud personality. So I figured at some point I would find something that fit it.
So talk to me a little bit about how you got into sports. What was the early memories? How did it become kind of a part of your career?
Sure. Yeah. Well, sports has always been woven into everything that I've done. And my whole entire life has revolved around sports. My parents were huge, huge into sports. When the Olympics was on, I mean, it was like life outside. The Olympics just stopped. And we were in front of the couch watching every single minute of it. My parents were at the Olympics in Calgary. They went to the Olympics in LA. I mean, it was, oh, both of them played tennis. So when I was a kid, my father would go on these baseball trips and they would cover four stadiums inside of like 2 days. And that was, when you could do two cities, two stadiums in the same day because they had, more afternoon games then. So sport has always just been around us. And then sideline sports started. My father and my sister started sideline sports, and so I kind of got I kind of fell backwards into it. They needed help. I was just wrapping up a job that I had been working on, and I kind of fell backwards into it. And, for 15 years, we built the company. We expanded through the university market. We expanded through pro sports, semi pro sports. I mean, it was just kind of interesting and very grassroots how it all began and how it happened. And, we would get into a new sport and they would say, well, hey, can you do this sport? And we're like, well, yeah, sure. I don't see why not. And it just, started to snowball. Next thing you know, you're been in your position and profession for, over a decade, and you realize you know a lot more than you thought you did, and you start answering questions to things that, other people are curious about, and industry knowledge just kind of sets in.
So, who were some players? Who were some people, teams? Did you have like favorites?
I used to. I think that I am still a fan. So I grew up watching the Wizards. They were the Bullets when I was there, but we had season tickets when I was a kid, so we went to a ton of games. So I think I'm always kind of loyal to my DC teams.
Yeah,
But the more in depth you get into the pro sports industry, I think that the fandom changes. So when there's a rival and someone like a team you used to like hate, like you get to know the front office of those people, and I'm working with their marketing director, and I'm like, oh my god, they're so nice, they're such a kind office, like how could I now root against them,
yeah,
so I think that the fandom diminishes a little bit just because you have all these relationships with those teams and with
yeah.
we don't hang out with any players or anything like that. It's the front office and the development team and the digital team and the marketing team, and you definitely get a different sense of connection to a team based on those relationships.
So I'm curious, the one thing that's interesting about sports now is that like the WNBA this weekend had like a record-breaking weekend. Like there's more people tuning in. Like I noticed last week when there were games going on, I would tune in and the stadiums were full and there was a professional softball league that's starting up here. And there seems like there's more things that are happening in women's sports. And
Yes.
and and it seems like it's the antithesis of what's going on with political legislation. Like there's so many rights that have been rescinded, so many things that have happened, but it seems like women's sports is really on a real high trajectory right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. And I mean, honestly, I think that it's been ramping up for a while, and it just needed that one like boom to kind of push it over the edge. And I think a lot of that came with, the Caitlin Clark effect, and that everything that these women have been doing up until now, like if we finally kind of got over that hill.
Yeah,
But I think that it's so important to have a stage, because for so long you didn't even have the option to be a fan because there was nowhere to be one. You didn't know you didn't have a team in your area. There were so few women's sports that were being played on TV. I mean, we had the US women's soccer team. I mean, that was a powerhouse team.
yeah.
But then what after that? Like when the World Cup was over, the Olympics was over, like you couldn't continue to watch these women play. And so I think that it's, a combination of a lot of things. It's kind of like a perfect storm, but I do think it's very interesting where it's almost like it became more powerful because to offset, what was going on that was a little bit uncontrollable. This was more like, okay, we can all kind of get behind this. So I do think that it's interesting timing for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So who's been your inspiration? Who's been kind of your heroic force in your life?
I mean, a lot of people. I'm very fortunate. I grew up in a home with two very, very strong parents. My dad was an entrepreneur. His dad was an entrepreneur. I mean, both my kids have even started businesses, so it runs in the blood to just kind of start new things and build things from the ground up. So I definitely look to them, and all the women CEOs out there and the women starters and the philanthropists. I mean, they're doing it, they're getting it done, and I think that motivates me to say, okay, hey, if they can do it, we can do it. And I always just come back to the sentiment of like, why not?
Yeah,
So I mean, everyone's like, oh, well, can you do that? I'm like, well, we're not doing anything that's absolutely non-existent. It's all been done.
yeah,
People have developed things from the ground up. People have developed organizations that are now nationwide, worldwide. It's all been done. So there's a framework for it. So if you look at all these bigger companies or these other nonprofits that are doing great stuff, and then it really does come back, well, why not? Why can't we do that?
yeah.
And nobody's come up with a good enough answer for me to stop.
Right, right. So let me ask you this. If you can meet one person alive on the planet right now that you find inspirational, that might help you on your mission with what you're doing, who would you love to sit down with and talk to?
I mean, the one person that can help us, obviously, that would probably be Mackenzie Scott.
Yeah.
She's pretty awesome.
Uh-huh.
Um, that would be amazing. Just, I think more than just the help, just the journey. I would love to hear her talk about everything that she's done, why she picks what she picks, what is it that even inspired her to go down this road to be such a philanthropist. And I mean, there's a lot of things you can do when you have oodles and oodles of money. So what what made this path clear?
Yeah.
So I think that that would be a very interesting conversation.
So what gives you the energy to do the work that you do, to consistently get in there, do the best job you can? You got a family, you got your soul. What is that collective energy for you every day to do it at a high level?
I don't know, to be honest. I think it's just in me.
Yeah.
I think that it I would almost say like failure is not an option, but like we fail every day. So it's not really failure that you're up against, it's quitting.
Yeah.
Because you can't control the failures and the wins. You can do everything you want to, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. But you get to control when you quit and when you don't. And I think that there you just have to get up and do it. And there are days when you feel burnt out and you're tired and honestly, like I'll take a day off and just say, you know what? My brain is just not in it today. I'm clearly burnt out. I'm not going to be good at my job today. I'm not going to get stuff done. So I'm going to take the day and just refresh,
Yeah.
reset, and then come back tomorrow because I'd much rather come back at 100% rather than, work at 20% for the week. Like that's just really no good for anybody.
Sure.
So I think recognizing that and having the emotional knowledge and the capacity to be able to do that, I think then that creates the energy on the days where you wake up and you're like, okay, here we go. Like I've got it today. I'm gonna go with it and just not squander that.
What does retirement mean for you? When you see the big word flash in the sky, what does that mean to you?
It's funny. I consider leveling the fields my second act.
Yeah.
And it came on the scene right when a lot of my friends were talking about retirement. We're getting to that age where people are moving things around and setting up, their next 15 years before they retire and whatnot. And retirement was never for me. I don't think stopping doing what I'm doing is not really an option. So I see retirement more as freedom, getting to a point financially where you get to now structure your day the way that you want to without worrying about a paycheck, without, you know, those kind of pressures behind it. So I think that that's what it looks like to me. I don't think that I'll ever not do this. I think that leveling the field is my retirement. That is my next 20 years until I literally can't do it anymore. But that's kind of what I see it as. I think that the old thinking was, okay, you go play golf all day or you sit on the couch all day or whatever that was. And
Yeah.
yeah, that wasn't me. So I think that, yeah, I think it's just about freedom. It's just about being able to structure your life the way that you want to.
Or like truly tapping into like a passion project, like something that you really want to do where there's not a lot of stress, but it can make an impact. Like that,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of a
Yep.
thing.
Yeah. And volunteering. I mean, I've seen like a lot of people that are working in a public library
Yeah.
or working with kids, like doing all those cool, fun things that are impactful that you really couldn't do before because you needed to get paid
Yeah.
and you needed a job.
Yeah.
So I think yeah, I think that's really what it is doing that fun thing and hobbies,
Yeah.
creating hobbies where you've always been interested in X and you've never had the time, the patience, the energy, the money to do that thing. And now you do. And now you get to kind of go out and do that really cool thing that you've always wanted to do, whether that's, you know, starting a garden or skydiving.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
somewhere in between those two, I
Somewhere
think
in there.
everybody falls.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. So let me ask you this. If you had a dream tonight, you ran into the 18-year-old version of you, you walked into a room and there was a film projector and you clicked play and a 60-second highlight reel of your life came up. Would that
Yeah,
young version of you believe your life turned out this way?
it's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, probably. She
Okay.
might be a little disappointed that we're not rock stars, but I think I think so.
Yeah,
I think that it would be kind of like, it wasn't anything crazy, but knowing that knowing that you're going to be okay, I think is really nice.
yeah,
And just saying like, hey, like we've got a house and kids and a healthy marriage and all these really cool things. Like that's kind of it. Like I've checked off
yeah,
a lot of boxes. Like that's pretty cool. Like,
yeah.
yeah, no rock star status, but I mean, but yeah, no, I think that I don't think there's anything that's been so crazy that it would be unbelievable. And I think that, the 18-year-old version of me wasn't great. So I think this version's a lot better.
Would you have any advice?
I have watched too many time machine movies
Yeah,
to get
I know.
involved in all that.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be too afraid to mess something
Uh-huh.
up. But, I mean, I might give a couple tips of some things to invest in, but
Right. Yeah. Which is a part of the whole Back to the Future thing. You got to be very careful because you don't want to put a tear in time. Because,
yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I've watched. I get way too overthinking when I watch time movies because
Yeah.
I'm like, well, wait a minute, and I like
Uh-huh.
start to pick it apart to the point where it's like, okay, this isn't fun. I need to watch something else.
Yeah. Because it could be one thing. I mean, it could be something innocuous, and it's like, I didn't mean to do that. You
Yeah,
knocked over a cup of water, and it's like, how did, it was just an accident. It's
I
like, and
do
then
that.
everything's changed.
Yep.
So, in that 60-second highlight reel of your life, what are you the proudest of, the happiest about?
Oh, my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that it's funny. I don't have a ton of pictures of them as little kids up in the house because it actually makes me sad.
Yeah.
Um, but I think that there's moments where they do things where they interact with other people where someone will say to me like, oh, they're so nice, kind, charming, whatever it is. And there's no greater compliment,
Yeah.
honestly, than having someone recognize that your children are nice people
Yeah.
and that they were helpful or that they were kind. And I think that that's there. I don't think there's anything that makes you more proud than that.
Yeah. So I got to ask you this, being in the sports world, what's the greatest game you've ever witnessed in person? And what would be the dream game you would love to go to in a time machine? And it wouldn't create a weird thing in time. You literally get to
You can
watch
go
it.
and come back.
You
Yeah.
come back. Yeah.
Fair,
Yeah.
fair. Okay. Glad we worked that part out.
Yes.
Um, Greatest game I ever saw live. My memory's not that wonderful. So
Okay.
I got to watch Jordan play from 6 rows back.
Wow.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool. I got to see the Women's World Cup. I caught a couple of those games. I caught a
Wow.
couple of Men's World Cup games back in '96.
Yeah.
Um, there are certain moments of those games that stand out.
Yeah.
The
The
crowd.
the
My dad and
energy.
I, my dad and I actually got the wave going in a professional stadium, and it went all the way around like 6 times.
That's cool.
That was a proud moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were pretty impressed by
That's
ourselves in
that's
that one.
big. Yeah.
Um, but I think if I could go back and watch any game, I don't know if there's just one. I
Okay.
think just it'd probably be a game 7 somewhere, but I'd have to go back and see which one
Yeah.
I'd want to catch. But it would definitely be a game 7. There's
Yeah.
nothing cooler than a game 7.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
for me, my dad was from he was born in Brooklyn and raised in Long Island. So I had this affinity for the Mets and the 86 Mets specifically. So if I could have been there when that ball went through Billy Buckner's legs, I mean, that was a level of euphoria that was just, it was unreal. I mean, I remember, I remember early on because I wanted to get into sports broadcasting. That was a master class because I remember Vin Scully just stopped talking. Like after that happened, he said a couple of things and he just let the whole place. the toilet paper rolls were going crazy. Everybody was losing it, and he just let it breathe, which was so cool. But anyway, that would be. But yeah, Game Seven.
That's a
So
good one.
I mean, I even think, but last year that Dodgers Toronto game would have been so hard because it ended on that weird double play, and all
Yeah.
those poor people in Toronto are just like, what just happened?
Well, my heart, whenever any game, and obviously we watched, like, most recently, obviously we just watched all the World Cup games, but when they shoot to the losing team, and they always find like that one kid in the crowd that's like devastated, and you can't not feel that.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And it breaks my heart every time. And then they shoot to the winners, and you just see this energy and this camaraderie and this community. There's no other industry, there's no other thing that brings strangers together like
Yep.
sport.
Yep.
Nothing. People are high-fiving strangers, they're hugging strangers, they are in it with them. And I think that, like exactly what you said, like, you just, the energy of that whole stadium just
Yeah.
like tanked. But like, there's something actually magical about that. It's
Yeah.
like, how, it's a game. It's just a game. How did it have that impact? How was it able to ripple through an entire city? Like, that is cool.
In Kansas City, we experienced that in 14 when that final ball went into the glove of the
Uh,
Panda at third base dude that Bumgardner came in. I just remember sitting there watching the press conference, and I just like I wasn't like it wasn't even that I was crying. It was just like tears wouldn't stop. Like it was more of that ethereal 3 week high because there's a part of cities that get into that and you go and go and go and go, and we were one out. I mean, we almost scored Gordon,
yeah.
but the next year when we won it and won it in New York, it was total euphoria. Like all the sins were forgiven. Like the
Yeah.
confessional booth, everything was fine. No problem.
Yep.
We forgot
Yep.
it. Amnesia.
Everywhere. Yep. All good.
So it's wild.
It
Yeah.
is. I went to school in Providence, Rhode Island, and I was there one of the years that the Patriots won the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and they're, they were doing like they did Boston first, and then they came down to Providence and did something there, and a chant of Yankee suck came out, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, this isn't even the right sport, but like,
Yeah.
it was still fascinating that,
Yeah.
like, again, like, just like that camaraderie, that like hate, like,
Uh-huh.
and I actually think that hate is just as cool as the love, because they are basically, opposites but the same.
Totally.
So it just, to invoke that strong of an emotion
Yep.
is just really cool to
It's
me.
fascinating. It really is.
Yeah.
So let's get to the marrow in your bones.
I am a lot. I tell people all the time I'm fantastic in small doses, and I'm not quite sure how my husband does it. But, at my core, I love people. I love connection. I think that it's fun to get to know people. I think I love, love, love to laugh. And so I consider myself, somewhat of a warm person. I'm not a huge fan of conflict. Um, but yeah, I would say, if I had to kind of judge myself as if I was someone else, it would probably be pretty positive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So leveling the fields, if anybody wants to reach out, learn more, any of the good business going on in your world, where's the best place to go?
You can find me personally on LinkedIn at Melyssa Jaskiewicz, but our website is Leveling the Fields with an S, and we are on all social media as Leveling the Fields, and we would absolutely love for anyone to follow us and follow our journey.
Excellent. And I will make it easy. I will put all the links in the show notes. Melyssa, what a wonderful conversation. Thank you for your time. Thank you for what you're doing. This has been wonderful.
Likewise, this was wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.